Hello again everyone, James here. Today we're going to discuss a theory called Dunbars Number and how it can help you have a better career and a better connection to your fans. It's a pretty wild time to be in the music industry. Most of us spend a lot of our days working on building our mailing lists, growing our social media follower count, raising the number of website visits we get, hoping to raise the number of Spotify monthly listeners, and for what? Is that really what we want at the end of the day? A whole bunch of mildly interested people who exist on the internet that we don't really know and don't really see when we go on tour, but who are out there theoretically supporting our music? Or do we want somebody that's a little bit more engaged? Do we want people that will basically become mouthpieces for our music careers? People who will go out there and be ambassadors for everything that it is that you create. People who will do the work for you to some extent by telling their friends and family and anyone who will listen about what it is that you're creating. Because if it's the latter, then this video is for you. So back in the early 1990s, a British anthropologist by the name of Robin Dunbar suggested that the cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can share stable social relationships is just 150. Just 150 people. And when Dunbar says steady social relationships, he's referring to relationships where the individual knows who each person is and how they relate to the other people in that 150 group. And he didn't just dream up this number. His idea was based on studies of data all the way back to early hunter-gatherer communities and more modern communities such as what you might find in an office or at a school. You have undoubtedly met thousands of people in your lifetime, but the number of people that you really connect with and who you stay in touch with as time moves on, that's relatively small. And some would argue that that number gets smaller the older you get. I don't know if I believe that, but the basic idea is true. No matter how many people you meet in your lifetime, only about 150 are going to stick with you at any given point in time. 150 that you could recall based on seeing a picture and that you would know more about them than just, oh, I recognize that face. 150, 150. And you may or may not be surprised to learn that a recent study from 2011 says that the same idea applies to the world of social media. Regardless of whether or not you have 150 followers or 150,000 followers, most people have a very tight community of people that they engage with on a regular basis. Regardless of how large their following grows, there's only so many people that they remember, that they expect to see commenting on everything, that they feel they really have an engaged relationship with in the digital space. Which is kind of surprising when you think about how much time we really spend worrying about stuff like follower counts. Now I'm telling you all of this because I believe the rule of 150 can be used in marketing as well. Now if you've been following our videos, you know that we recently talked about the 1,000 fan theory and how it suggests that if you can find 1,000 people to spend an average of $100 per year on your career, then you can be a self-sufficient artist. Now I don't know if I believe all of that, but I do believe in the power of 150, and let me tell you why. Do you know the most common way that a book becomes a success? Now obviously marketing plays a role, and if you're a celebrity writing a book, you probably have a hit on your hands before it hits shelves, but the average book still relies heavily on book clubs. Not some big international cabal of people coming together, but local book clubs where groups of 5, 10, 15, or 20 people come together, choose one book, read it, talk about it, and then tell others about it. Those small groups tell other people who then tell their groups, and the message begins to spread until thousands or millions of people have bought and consumed a book. That's how it works. And the same thing should be happening in your music career. Don't worry about the 1,000 fans. Don't worry about the thousands of people that you may have following you on social media. Worry about finding that 150 people who are already very engaged with what you're doing. I'm going to wager that you already know who they are if you just think about it for a few seconds. These are the people who are commenting on everything, who are coming to shows wherever you play, who are buying merch as soon as it goes on sale, who are buying the big pre-order bundles. Those are the fans that I want you to be focusing on this year and beyond, because if you can turn them into ambassadors for your music, then you can really start to build a community that is engaged with your music in a way that no amount of social media following could ever replicate. Think about how you feel when you tell people about your music, because it's something that you care about so much. It's one of the most important things in your life. And when you tell somebody else about it, it's really easy to convert them to listening to your music because they sense how much you care about it. Well, I'm willing to wager that your fans, that 150 fans that are truly engaged with what you're doing, feel similarly. And when they tell other people about your music, that same feeling comes across, that thing where somebody feels they just have to check out this piece of art or this song because it clearly means so much to this person that they care about. So if you can hone in on those 150 people and really start to engage with them on a regular basis and let them know how much you care about their support and empower them to tell other people, it's not hard to imagine that 150 telling just one more person how much they love your music. And then all of a sudden, you have 300 fans. And those 300 fans can turn into 600 overnight, because as long as you're able to harness that passion, that thing that every diehard fan feels for their favorite artist, and get them to share that passion with somebody else, your community is going to grow in leaps and bounds in ways that no amount of playlisting placements or Facebook and Instagram advertising ever could, because that's just creating passive listeners. By and large, no playlist placement and no ad on social media is going to convert somebody to being a diehard fan of your music. They may come to a show, they may listen to you enough to make you a few pennies, but if you want to create truly engaged fans, fans who not only care about your music but care about each other and the community around your sound, then you need to start by engaging your core followers, the people who are most devoted to you. They should come first before social media, before email lists, before anything else. Worry about that core group. And as that core group starts to spread the message of not only how good you are, but how much you care about your audience, that core group is going to expand. And then before you know it, it'll be doubling and tripling in size. And you might start the year with 150 and end it with 10,000, but those 10,000 will be far more engaged than the people who are following you on social media right now, because they will care about you, your career, and the community that they have become a part of. And some people feel like Dunbar's number is limiting because 150 people just doesn't seem like a lot. But I disagree. There's something about the communal aspect of getting a tight-knit group of people together who want to spread the word about something that is so powerful. I mean, if you look at all the big pop groups of the last 100 years, the boy bands of the world, their communities are so vibrant and passionate about the thing they love, and friendships are formed, and groups are formed, and book clubs, and all these little offshoots of the fandom for this one thing, just because there's this shared excitement about one thing, the group's music. And you can do that same thing in your career. Find the fans who are already the most engaged with what you're doing, the people that go above and beyond for you already, and do the same for them. And as you do that, and that relationship begins to flourish, they will tell other people about you. And if you can get them to just tell one person, then that number will start to grow. And if that group tells one person, so on and so forth. And I know that it seems like it's going to take a long time, and truth be told, it may, but it could also happen overnight. Be a good person, care about your fans, give to them what they give to you, and the rest will take care of itself. I promise. And if you want even more advice on how to navigate the music industry and how to apply basic business principles to your career, well then click the subscribe button down below, because that is what we do here at Music Biz. We create a ton of videos all about what's happening in music, how to succeed in music, and where the industry is going, and we want you to be a part of this community right here. So if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button. And if you have, then you have my sincerest thanks, and I'll leave you with this. No matter what you choose to do with your life, whether you release music, start a record label, or leave this business altogether, please take care of yourself, because you deserve it.